Hello, Aries. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your April 2023 Tarotscope. In the description box below, you will find all sorts of goodies, including a timestamp to jump to the start of this reading. I do want to say before you do that, though, firstly, please do remember that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading. Only take what resonates with you, use your discernment, and leave the rest. I also would like to say that I feel like this reading is likely going to be something that is more geared or focused on this solar eclipse, Mercury retrograde energy that we are experiencing just after I film these readings. So please do keep that in mind. Some of these things may have already come up for you. They may have already manifested into your physical reality, and some of these things may come later, say after the solar eclipse or after Mercury retrograde in Taurus. Okay, so let's jump in and see what we've got going on. This is a spread that I created myself that dropped into my field actually towards the end of March, and I've been waiting very impatiently to be able to share it with you. So let's jump right in. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what can Aries do to align with their highest timeline and Christ consciousness, please? What can Aries do to align with their highest timeline and Christ consciousness? What can Aries do? Thank you. All right. What is helping Aries to evolve this month? All right, thank you. What is limiting Aries evolution, please? All right, there it is. Thank you. All right, and can we please have some advice, encouragement, or guidance for Aries for this month? Wow, thank you. That was so fast. All right, I love this, Aries, because you literally have one card for each position of the spread, and that tells me that these messages are very direct, very straight to the point. So let's jump in. Okay, so for you, what can you do to align with your highest timeline and Christ consciousness? What you have here, the divine matrix, interconnectedness, synchronicity, and God incidences. So here's the thing. There's a couple of things that I'm getting. Firstly, I want to say that I feel like a big thing that you could do, Aries, to align with your highest timeline is to understand that we are all part of a greater whole, right? That you are not separate from God. You're not separate from nature. You're not separate from really anything, right? I also feel like how would I say, it feels to me like this is coming up for you because there is that with Aries, that very I am, like very independent type of energy. And I feel like sometimes you might like almost take that to the extreme, right? Where you can often turn inward and be maybe a little bit self-centered or selfish. I'm sure that there are those that aren't going to like hearing that. But I feel like, sometimes that energy can be taken from, the more ascending, if you will, levels to the more descending or negative levels, which are not very conducive to your growth. That's not to say that we don't need to experience them or be shown them, okay? Because we absolutely do. But remaining in those spaces is not good for us. So I feel like for you, Aries, a way that you can most definitely align with your highest timeline and Christ consciousness is to kind of like put yourself back into the whole, okay? Like go from a me to a we, if that makes sense. I also feel like I'm actually being reminded of, and I'm paraphrasing for sure, but Christ says something along the lines of like, love your neighbor as I have loved you, or, you know, love each other as I have loved you. And I feel like this is going to be something that may resonate with you as far as what you're learning or what you're experiencing currently, because I feel like you're being guided towards that mentality, towards that way of living and being and speaking and moving. Now, I also feel, Aries, for you to, how would you say, um, yes, thank you. Keeping your eyes and ears open for synchronicities, because I do feel like you are being shown them. I do feel like that. I feel like you are being shown these synchronicities that are meant to be leading you and guiding you to that highest timeline, to better align you with Christ consciousness. And I feel like if you are open to receiving them, that you will be seeing them. Now, if you are closed off, if you're like, I don't believe in signs, I don't believe in symbols, I don't believe that angels speak to me, I don't believe that God speaks to me, I don't believe that my spiritual team speaks to me or guides me or tries to encourage me or to show me the way, you're not going to be seeing them. Okay, because they can only, how would you say, like, your angels and your guides and your team can throw you all sorts of signs, but if you are closed down to them, you aren't going to see them. They essentially, they can only communicate with you to the level at which you allow. Okay, so they can be throwing them at you, but if you're like shut down, you're not going to see them. In addition to that, I feel like there's a message here of like your angels, your team wants to help you to better align with your highest timeline. But again, we have free will. And so they can only assist you to the degree at which you allow. So I feel like there's a big message there for that as well. So how you can align as you move forward through the month of April and beyond, I feel, is by moving from that me mentality or that me space to the we, or from the I, okay, to the we. Now, that here, I want to just clarify, I'm not asking or suggesting that you abandon your I, capital I, individual completely. That would be a crazy request. Okay, that would be, no, that would not be helpful either. Okay, so I'm not suggesting that. However, I am suggesting that perhaps you seek a path or seek behavior, seek beliefs, seek morals and values that aren't solely centered around you, that, right, are service driven. How can I be of service to humanity? How can I implement this natural leader that I have within me? How can I utilize this sense of justice that I have to be helpful, to be of service to humanity at large, right? How can I use my brave and fearless aspects of myself to be helpful, right? So that's how I feel like you can better align, okay? I'm actually, it's interesting as well because outside currently, I'm sure you can hear, there is a tractor, okay? And I feel like this is about going to work for others. Because when I think about, it's interesting, this is not the kind of tractor that it is, by the way, but it is a John Deere. And so the way I'm seeing this is, for example, you know, a farmer can work and feed many. And so that's kind of how I'm seeing this for you, Aries. So let's take a look at what's helping you to evolve. Wow, you have the healer in the upright or the light attribute position. And this is so fascinating based on what I was just sharing. Passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. So I feel like what's helping you to evolve on, so I feel like it's two different sides of the coin, if you will. I feel like one aspect of this is you literally healing yourself, right? Healing your body, healing your mind, healing your spirit, going through all of the pain and things that you've experienced, the traumas, and alchemizing them, transmuting them into ways that you can be of service to other people, right? So a lot of times the things that we experience that are painful, that we suffer through, that we struggle through, that we must overcome, are often things that we, how would you say, it's kind of that whole thing of like, find your way out so you can go in and help others type of thing, right? So I feel like the things that you experience are likely to be part or an aspect of your purpose here, your mission, how you can be of service to other people. So for example, let's say you have childhood trauma, right? That is something that you could likely learn from, recover from, heal, and then turn around and go to be of help to others, to help others work through that. Okay? So it's definitely helping you evolve. I also feel, again, right, what else could be helping you evolve is stepping into this role as a healer, as someone who can help others to do this. Right? Very much like I was saying here with the Divine Matrix, in the sense of that interconnectedness, in the sense of from the me to the we, or from the I to the we, right? So what is limiting your evolution? Okay. You do have the Prince here in the upright or light attribute position, and it says romantic charm and potential for power. So I'm getting a couple of things, okay? Firstly, for some of you, and I don't know that everyone will resonate with this, of course, but I feel like for some of you, something that may be limiting you is your focus on perhaps pursuit of romantic partners, or maybe even a heavy focus on a romantic partner, or the pursuit of a romantic partner. Okay, so that's coming in. I also feel like for some of you, this could be, what could be limiting your evolution is literally that potential for power. So in the tarot, Aries, you are represented by the Emperor. And though the Emperor can be very effective and ambitious and determined, right? A leader, absolutely a leader. Even I would go so far as to say a figure of authority, that can be detrimental if it's not channeled properly, right? It can turn into tyranny. It can turn into domination. It can turn in, or excuse me, it can become something that is rigid and uncompromising. Okay, so I feel like that could be limiting your evolution. If you're somebody who's like, I'm totally not in the romantic field at all, like I have no desire to be there, or you're not heavily focused on, say, charming others, or, heavily focused on romantic pursuits or your romantic partner, I feel like it's interesting. I feel like it's almost as if, for some, it's like walking a very fine line between being someone who is a leader, a natural leader, and being independent, and, how would you say, like standing up for things, right? And like I said, kind of walking the very thin line between that and being, kind of uncompromising, and maybe aggressive, or dominating, or even tyrannical. But I feel like it's almost like that. Yes, thank you, Lord. Like the whispers of power, right? Because here it says here the potential for power. And again, we're looking at this from a perspective of what is limiting your evolution. Okay. For others, I also feel like there could be this call for power in the form of like financial means or material means. Okay, because when I think of a prince, I think of someone who has, how would you say, access to financial support, or some sort of standing, whether that be financial or in the community or what have you, where they have this access to be able to kind of do as they please, in a sense, right? And so I feel, again, it's kind of like the whispers of power could be pulling at you. And if you find yourself kind of teetering that line, right, or kind of weaving back and forth between the two, that could be something that is limiting your evolution. Okay, so take that how it resonates with you. Maybe you resonate with all of those things I've shared, or maybe just one of them. right? But it feels to me like any one of those things or any combination of those things could be limiting your evolution. Okay? So, advice, encouragement, or guidance for you, Aries, for this month or as you move forward, take time to breathe. Thank you, angels. I breathe with ease, knowing you're here. So, I feel like for you, Aries, what you're being encouraged to do or guided to do is to take a step back. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like taking a step back, allowing yourself to take deep breaths before making any decisions at all. At all. Yeah, it really feels like it feels to me like, because I'm being shown this in a way of, for example, somebody asking a question or asking, for an action to be taken. And I'm kind of seeing it as like, okay, I'm going to take some time to think about this, right? Like I'm actually seeing hands coming up. Like I'm going to take some time to think about this. I'll come back to it, right? So I feel like it is literally about taking a step back, giving yourself time to breathe and really processing what's coming through for you, whether that be somebody asking you a question, asking you to do something, whether opportunities are presented to you to say, pursue a certain path or maybe a career or a person or some sort of movement or change. I feel like it is literally about just giving a minute to, how would you, to rest, right? To allow it to sink in what exactly is coming through and being asked, and then moving forward once you've had time to properly process. Maybe you meditate on it or pray about it or what have you, right? But I really feel like it's about really allowing things to come in, allowing yourself to get very clear, being very discerning, following your intuition, and whatever else you may be seeking for, like, again, like I was saying, prayer, meditation, those sorts of things. But I do feel like it's about taking that time to breathe, and again, letting the answers or what it is you need to be doing sink in. Okay, not making any very fast calls or taking any action very quickly without really having the time to process, right? And sometimes, Aries, I have an Aries sun who I absolutely adore, but Aries sometimes can be very pushy in a sense, right? Can be very like right now. I'm actually being reminded of, what is that song? Like, I want it all. Hold on just a second. I want it all. I want it now. I don't know if that's gonna resonate for somebody. I don't even, like, I've heard the song before, I think, but I don't know who the artist is. I don't know the title of the song, so that could resonate with someone. But I'm being reminded of that, and I feel like there's this need to just step it back a little bit. And I also feel like this will help you to be more consistent. Okay, we were talking about kind of weaving that line, that very fine line between leadership and power. And I feel like if you're able to step back a little bit, take time to breathe and allow things to really process, I feel like that will help you to be more consistent as you move forward. So Aries, that is what I have for you for the month of April and the solar eclipse with Mercury retrograde as well coming in here at the end of the month. I do appreciate so very much your company, your time, your energy, and your attention. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. It has been an absolute pleasure to read for you. If something in this reading has resonated for you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting, or subscribing, of course. I do appreciate it so very much. It helps the channel to grow and tells YouTube that there may be something else here for someone else to see. So again, thank you so very much. Take care of your beautiful soul. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your month. Peace be with you and within you, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.